All right. Ooh, I need to grab my phone, so just bear with me. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks those who are tuning in today to watch this live video. Thank you very much for your support. It's truly appreciated. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Welcome to this live chat. Today is Tuesday, April 29, 2025. Thank you for another opportunity that you allow me to share this live videos and talk about the collectibles world and everything. So thank you very much. I want to make sure everything is good. Okay, microphone is good. I want to welcome everyone. Thank you very much. And today is a very important day, of course. You know, there's a lot of things that happened last week, and even up to today, I've seen a lot of different releases that happened for toy collectors, for statue collectors, diecast collectors. So there's a lot of great, you know, cool collectibles. Even though there's a lot of craziness right now in the toy industry, it's cool to see that, you know, things are still happening and companies are still, you know, holding on. And hopefully we will continue doing the same thing. We continue to hold on until see what happens next. You know, you don't know. We don't know exactly what that outcome will be. But just to give you an idea what we're going to cover tonight, I want to talk about, we're going to cover companies like Threezero. We're gonna talk about Marvel Legends. You know, I love Marvel Legends. I collect Marvel Legends, and we're gonna cover them today. The stuff that was released this week, or you know, most recently. Also, gonna talk about Star Wars. I want to talk about the vintage collection and also the Black Series. Normally, I don't talk about the Black Series, but they have some really nice releases this past weekend, and I want to look at them today. We're gonna talk about Hiya toys. We're gonna cover Hot Toys. They have releases. They're getting ready, of course, for May 4th, and we're gonna see what it's to come. There's gonna be a lot of releases then, but they have some releases already. When I look at them, I'm gonna talk about a company that is based in New Zealand. This is a mint you know, they're a mint. They work on this with silver. Agoro, they have something really nice. I'm gonna look at them today. We're gonna look at Spiral Studios, so you're a Godzilla fan. Hex Collectibles, we're gonna look at Iron Studios. Of course, they had this past weekend their special showcase. They released the stuff for this month. We're gonna look at it today. We're gonna look at Diamond Select Toys with Gentle Giant. Of course, this the most recent releases they have. We're gonna look at Kotofukiya, Gecko Company, Sumi Art, Toei Animation in collaboration with Lightyear Studio. We're gonna look at PG Studio, Sideshow Collectibles, PCS Collectibles, and Prime One Studio. So yeah, it's very heavy day. So we're gonna cover it today. We're gonna want to be here all night, but we're gonna really cover some of the stuff. But yeah, I ask you, please, if you're watching this, please do not forget to leave a like. Please also let me know you're watching in the comments. Just post in the comments where you're watching from. You know, say hello. I like to always, you know, get into conversation. You're stopping by. As usual, always the day after tomorrow, in this case tomorrow, we'll have the timestamps. If you don't have the opportunity to watch the entire video for X or Y reason, you're at work, you're with family, you're going out, whatever reason, and you're unable to watch the entire show, you can always go back and you can look at the timestamps. That really help you to go through everything. If you're interested on a few things, not on everything, you can go to that particular part of the video and talk about, you know, listen to my opinion, have a conversation with me. You can always leave comments, whether you're watching this live video or in the future. I always reply or try to reply as much as I can. You know, try to always, I value your time. Thank you for, you know, for being here on the channel, being supportive of the channel. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, on Twitter, on X, although I always say Twitter, is, you know, it's X, on Instagram. Thank you for that. And I consider supporting the channel. You can do it through the, you know, super chat, or you can do it through Patreon, whatever, you know, whatever you do, I put it back and invested into the channel. But thank you very much for being here with me. So without preambles, let's get into it. And again, you're welcome to leave the comments. That's, you know, that really helps the algorithm. But first, before we get into talking about starting, you know, of course, as always go, we go into this, start with toys, then we move into action figures, and we talk about statues and props, all that. So we go by scales. But before we get into it, I would really want to mention something that I think is important. And I'm going to take you to... I was looking at this on the Toei Association report. Of course, we're now with everything in reference to tariffs. I think that it's something that it's happening right now with everything that is happening with tariffs, you know, which I think is the conversation of the right now and at the moment, things that are happening. This is from the Toei Association. You know, of course, you know, they are predicting this happens April 18th, so it's not long ago. And I want to share this with you because I think it's important as we are heading into this moment where things are happening, of course, happening in the toy industry with tariffs and the fear of what's going to happen around this holiday season. You know, companies are preparing for it, or they're definitely scared of the situation. So we'll see what is happening here. So I'm going to read this from the Toei Association. Christmas and toy companies are at risk. Toei Association members survey reveals alarming impact at 145% tariffs. The Toei Association recently conducted a member-wide survey to assess the potential business impact on the newly imposed 145% tariffs on toy imports from China. With responses from more than 400 member companies. You know, we're not talking about people, you know, we're talking about, you know, opinion of, you know, or people that are just, you know, buyers or consumers. These are the companies themselves, you know, the people who are in the trenches, in the production and the manufacture and the selling. All companies from Hasbro, from, you know, Sideshow Collectibles, all the companies that are members of the Toei Association of America, of course. And I think there's some international members as well. Imports from China. With responses from more than 400 member companies, the findings show that nearly half of small and medium-sized enterprises state they may soon go out of business due to the current U.S. tariff policy. The Toei Association will be using these results to aggressively advocate for a tariff exemption for toys and ensure the voice of the toy industry is heard by congressional leaders and White House officials. Reach out to Catherine Vellevue, Chief Policy Officer of the Toei Association, for more information. Now here you can see the impacts for tariffs, just to give you an idea. 96% of American toy companies are small and mid-sized business. So that is across the board. We're not talking about, you know, like huge companies like, you know, Hasbro, Mattel. 96% of the companies, all small companies, Twitterhead, companies, you know, I don't know, there's like a lot of Mondo, Mesco, companies like that. They're small in size in comparison to others. They don't have that many employees. So less than 100 employees, perhaps, just even a lot less than that. Companies are small and mid-sized businesses. 50% of them say they will soon go out of business due to current U.S. tariff policy. Christmas 2025 at risk. Tariffs, and let me see if we can increase that because it's tiny, 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 tiny. And, you know, when you get to certain age, your eyesight is not the same. You know what I mean? But here I'm looking at it. It says right there, tariffs of 140% on Chinese importers has frozen the toy production supply chain, having a devastating impact on small companies, many of whom are family-owned, including high level of cancel orders and significant retail cancel purchases, which will quickly result in loan defaults and bankruptcies. So this is the fear that is happening with a lot of these companies, companies that are in the trenches. They're the ones selling the products. They are afraid for obvious reasons, because it seems that, you know, things are really bad right now. Here, small toy companies are in blue, and then the mid-sized toy companies are in red. So you can see, I would say the mid-sized are the ones, it seems, hey, what's up, O'Leary? How you doing, my friend? But you can see the companies, and it seems that mid-size are actually suffering more than even small sizes. Mid-size companies are delaying the orders. You know, they are waiting to see what happens. So we're gonna see delays. If we already suffered delays with a lot of stuff, now we're gonna see more. And the canceling orders, you can see mid-sizes are canceling a lot of orders. We're gonna see more cancellations also on pre-orders. We're already seeing some companies canceling their pre-orders. We are gonna see the same effect with small companies. Small companies survive with a day-to-day basis. Sometimes the small products are everything that keeps them afloat, so they will not necessarily cancel as soon because they want to see the product through. Mid-sized companies, they have more products at hand, so they can cancel a few, but they're going to be the ones canceling the most, as you can see, based just on the in the chart here, at least the expectation, 80% versus 64% with small toy companies. Now, we'll go out of business, and this is on par. This is pretty much side by side. The expectation is like 46-45%. They will go out within months or weeks or whatever if things go bad. You know, or also you have to keep that in mind, that this is the worst case scenario. We're talking about worst case scenario and the fear that is happening if things don't change, or there's not a 360 change, or actually even in this case, the government in the US really relaxes some of those impositions they're doing with tariffs. So we'll see what happens. Definitely, this is a very political situation right now, very heavily political. Everybody has a different opinion. But it's important to keep an eye, because a lot of the companies that we support, a lot of the companies that I discuss here in the channel, a lot of companies, not necessarily talking about many companies, even companies outside the United States depend heavily on in the United States market. If things start going to a place where it's impossible for them to sell the product, they're not going to sell it. So a lot of those businesses are going to go on the wayside. And that is definitely the problem that a lot of companies in America are facing. So we need to keep an eye on it. Definitely the toy industry, the toy association is moving forward with really trying to reach out, trying to touch different, parts of the political spectrum, maybe just trying to, will this affect Ireland? That is something that is hard to know, O'Leary. As a matter of fact, O'Leary, that's a nice last name. I have a friend at work that has your last name, O'Leary. Of course, he's Irish American, but he's a pretty cool guy. I was thinking about when I see your name. But Cormac, I'm not so sure. I think in some way it will, because of course, a lot of companies, international companies, there's a lot of connections between companies. I think a lot of companies in Asia and Europe they're already making adjustments, or they're actually pushing towards be more independent, self-reliant. My apologies, to have more self-reliance on not really dependent so much on American businesses or companies. So we'll see what happens. I think the expectation is there. Of course, the biggest market in the world is the US. The biggest market for all this type of collectibles. I'm not so sure how that's going to affect, but definitely it's going to affect us here in the US. And even the small companies depend heavily. They're the biggest market, the biggest customers, the biggest customer pool is from American company, or the American consumer. If these companies don't have that, you lose, I would say, 80% of your customer base. Then how can you survive with only 20%? So that's going to be the challenge. And I think companies are challenged at the moment to see what's going to happen. If there's no product coming to the US, how these companies can also sell product outside of the US. So I think there's a lot of unknowns. I'm hoping and praying that things change soon. Definitely there's a lot of fear among companies. I try not to alarm people here. I try not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's important to be very aware of the situation, and hopefully this can move at least the needle in the right direction, because definitely we need some change on all of this. So I'm hoping the best for you, my friend. I'm hoping the best for us. I think for everyone. I think I'm hoping the best for every collector around the world, whether you're based in Ireland, whether you're based in the US, in Canada, in Asia, a lot of companies there, a lot of people, a lot of collectors have friends all over the place, in France, people in England, collectors in Australia. I know a lot of people in the Philippines, a lot of people definitely, there's a lot of unknowns, Latin America. So I'm hoping that we can see that, because, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I've been collecting for many, many years, a lot of things, and it would be hard when, maybe you can just go into the aftermarket, but it's going to be hard to see this industries and a lot of these companies collapsing just because, one man has decided to war against the world and taking everyone with him to hell, and taking the whole economy to hell in a handbasket. I just feel that something has to change, and hopefully we see some change soon. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't want to get more involved into this. I don't want to really keep talking about it, because I know we all have different opinions in reference to politics, particularly in the US. There's there are Trump supporters, there's people who are against Trump, there's people there on the sidelines. I'm not a Trump supporter. he's the president, so I have to respect him. But at the same time, I feel that he's in the past 100 days that he's been in power, he's definitely has thrown the whole thing upside down, and it's just messing with all of us, not only with the people in the US, but also with people around the world, and that is not good. So we'll see what happens. So next thing, let's just move on from this before I get depressed. And also, no, I just don't want to move on. I'm gonna move on to the next thing, but it's also within the same subject, and I'm gonna talk about just to give you an idea of what's happening even outside of the US. So if I'm gonna go to Facebook. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna go to Facebook. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna give you Threezero, for example. We're gonna talk about Threezero today. They have something that isn't released, but Threezero, this company, they're based in Hong Kong. You know, they produce a lot of cool, stuff, diecast and all kind of things, models, toys. You know, they're very cool. They do produce a lot of stuff. But recently, and we're gonna talk about this in just a moment, this most recent figure. But they did an announcement here. And as you can see, this was happened this week, and it's in Chinese, but also in English. But that gives us an idea of what companies are doing right now to counteract the situation that it's happening. And this is the really bad news, to be honest with you. Due to the recent U.S. tariff policy update, certain courier services have suspended shipments of low-value parcels to the U.S. starting from 24th of April 2025 to 25th of April. Which just happened, over the weekend. Well, U.S. orders in stock items and pre-orders. Hey, what's up, Daniel? How you doing, my friend? This is, of course, Hong Kong time. Well, U.S. orders in stock item and pre-orders can still be placed. Shipments will be dispatched once tariff policies stabilize. Any inquiries, please get in touch with our customer support. We appreciate your patience and support. Just kind of really give you an insight on this. Threezero is saying at this, just an explanation. Right now, they're not shipping. We know that. Many companies are not. They stopped. The companies in China are the parcel companies, the delivery companies, the companies that actually ship to the U.S. They put things in containers so they can be delivered to the United States and ships. They're not servicing, they're not delivering any small quantity. A lot of the small companies, small producers, small retailers cannot buy in big quantities. They cannot buy containers, so they buy in small quantities. So right now, and even if you're buying something from China, they're not shipping and delivering stuff because of the tariff costs. And companies for Threezero, a lot of these companies live on slim margins. So if you are, let's say, you only make a percentage out of your product, and now you have to double it up because 145% tariff on top of it. So you might not be able to sell it. So of course, a lot of they are right now, and that affects everything. Not only affects the producer, affects the importers, distributors, companies, for example, like Big Bad Toy Store. They've been very outspoken about how it's affecting them. There's other people, there's other small companies, small toy stores that they're selling their product. They're affected by it. So right now, it's everything on hold. On Threezero, what they have done, because everything is right on this array, they have suspended shipment to the U.S., not to around the world, to the U.S. For the time being, until everything stabilizes, until there's an answer, until everything is clear. They're not going to ship anything. So if you order something for Threezero that was supposed to be delivered around this time of the year, forget it. It's not coming until they decide what to do next. This is the problem we're facing, and this is just an example of many. This is only one company, Threezero, and they have, you can order stuff. You can still, if there's stuff on order, you can still pre-order. But when are they going to release that stuff? That is the thing. They're holding on until something major happens. Could be good, could be bad. We don't know. But this is something that is happening across the board with all the different companies. Even when you go to Big Bad Toy Store right now, you can see at the bottom of your sale, your pre-orders, it says like subject to tariff, expense or any tariffs, costs or whatever. So there's a lot of unknowns. So if something costs you $100, you might end up paying $200 with the tariff on top of it, another $100 on it. So believe me, companies are not gonna eat it. Like companies that are small, like Threezero, for example, companies like Big Bad Toy Store, they're in the distribution side. They are family owned, and they do have employees, but they cannot eat it all up. They can try some companies have promised that they will eat it, but the vast majority of the companies cannot eat it. So yeah, this is right now a situation that it's really hard to see, and that tells you that the cracks in the system and the whole plan that our government has for this, trying to get back on China, it's getting back on us and the consumer, and affecting not only them but everyone else worldwide, because at the end of the day, yes, Hong Kong ships, but Hong Kong is, even though it's part of, you know, in some ways it's a independent territory. It's not necessarily China itself. So yeah, it's a lot of things there that are affecting everyone. So let's keep an eye on it. But yeah, it's kind of scary to see that. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. And really talking about Threezero, I want to take you to actually something that they actually put on pre-order. At least they have some stuff on pre-order, and hopefully after everything is sorted out, we are able to get all the stuff. So we're gonna go into the action figures first. And again, thank you, Daniel and Cormac for come and say hello. I appreciate it. Look at the stuff that we have here, man. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and some of the stuff, man, I haven't really talked about. Like this Grogu, who produced this one? That it's by Hot Toys. Oh, cool. We're gonna look at it in a moment, okay? So Hot Toys is really releasing some cool stuff right now. But in any case, we're gonna talk about this first thing here. I want to talk about in the action figure world. We're gonna talk about Red Alert, MDLX. If you are a fan of this collection, the medium, the MDLX, they are very small figures, but they're highly poseable, and they have die-cast elements, not only plastic. They poseable. They have little parts. And they're, you know, again, they're a little heavy because they're die-cast, so they don't fully transform, but they're very poseable. And here's Red Alert, which is one of the fan favorite cards. I actually have Red Alert on from Hasbro, the most recent release that they have on it's still in the box. So like everything else I have is in the box. Very cool figure, a throwback to that classic Red Alert from back in the day, back in the 80s. But here you can see from Threezero, only 5.9 inches tall, so it's even less than 6 inches. But he has interchangeable hands, different weapons, some accessories. Pretty cool. Pretty cool figure. Again, as you can see, very poseable. This collection has been growing steadily. Very, very nice detail. If you're not into Transformers, if you're okay with Transformers not transforming into vehicles, then definitely the MDLX collection is pretty cool. And it sits well also with, I don't know, with your Transformers Origins or Transformers Generations, Transformers Studio 86. They'd be around the same size scale of those. So, but of course, these are more of the high end, more, you know, they're very cool. And just to give you an idea of Threezero on their MDLX or their collection or their Transformers, let's see, we have some of them. Of course, they got different sizes. They got the DLX, which is the larger scale, which are a lot more expensive. And of course, MDLX is the smaller, medium scale. And here you can see they got size sweep. That is a cool one too. Look at that one is very nice. And they have others. That also Rodimus Prime. This is a pretty cool one. Also MDLX. That is $80 for that one. So Bumblebee, $65. So yeah, you can build your little collection with all these little figures. And this one, just to give you an idea of the price point on this one is $90. Hopefully tariffs don't affect it much, but we'll see what happens. So now that's just $90. All right, so now let me take you to the next thing, and I want to actually take you to Hasbro Pulse. And the reason we come into Hasbro Pulse is because I want to show you the newest She-Hulk action figure for Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends killing it. You know, I love Marvel Legends. I don't collect every Marvel Legends figure, but I do collect the ones that really speak to me. It's $24.99. It's sold out here at Marvel Pulse. It will be available in other places. You can go to Big Bad Toy Store. It will be probably available at the stores at some point. You'll see it there. We already have the She-Hulk that came out last year. That was part of the Iron Man collection. I did not get that one, although I need to get it at some point. I will get it. But this is based, of course, this is for the Fantastic Four collection. So it's gonna be on the Fantastic Four Classic packaging, which I've been collecting. I have pretty much the roster there. So I'm gonna add this one. So it's the same skull, face sculpt, everything. It's a different, of course, outfit with the Fantastic Four. A very interesting era when this happened, of course, with John Byrne. So it is a pretty nice figure, in my opinion. nicely detailed. I think the most beautiful part is the portraits. I would say Marvel Legends lately, and for the price, man, the portraits are something that they killing it really, really, really good. I just recently went and got me other Marvel Legends, you know, figures, and the newer Marvel Legends figures that they are producing, the portraits are just killing it, and the female portraits are even better. Look at this portrait, really nice detail, very, very cool. It does have the butterfly joints. It is still a Marvel Legends. I know some people don't like figures and all, but look at the detail. Definitely the portrait. And I like this second portrait with the hair, you know, hair on her back and the, you know, kind of like a ponytail. It's a ponytail. It looks really neat, and definitely this is going to be a nice addition. Not necessarily a fan of the smile on this one, but that gives you an idea of this particular one. And this is the classic packaging from, of course, the era of the toys, 90s toys. The Fantastic Four packaging, and of course, you know, like, looks great. I am definitely adding that to my collection. And just to give you an idea of She-Hulk, about the previous, for those who were unfamiliar or you may not be familiar, the previous She-Hulk, let's see, it comes up. It's only showing one. But if we come, let's say, to Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm coming to, as you can see also, that Transformers MDLX is already there. But if we're coming to, let's say, She-Hulk, just give you an idea, She-Hulk. Let's see, we have it right there. It's already sold out here, so I'm gonna have to figure something else. I think the portrait for some reason looked better on her here. But this one was also a very nice one. I like this one with that outfit, more classic outfit. Beautiful hair, the smile. It's very similar. I think same portrait, maybe just the paint job on the, but I like this one a lot. I think both versions are great. I need to get both. But this one came, it doesn't have interchangeable portrait, which the other one does, which is great. So and you know, looks good too. And I like the Iron Man packaging as well, so it's great. And it's, again, very classic packaging, so it's cool. And this is what definitely they are producing for Marvel Legends. And of course, there's other things, but these are the things that, this is the figure that caught my attention and really nice. And don't miss out on your Marvel Legends collector before it completely sells out. As you can see, even here at Big Bad Toy Store, when you look at this one is sold out for now, but it doesn't mean that they will not have more stock eventually. It's just for the pre-order. You know, they will have more for sure. All right, so now I want to, still here at Paul, let me take you to the next thing, and I'm going to go into Star Wars. And when I'm going to talk about the, let me see, the Vintage Collection. The Vintage Collection is a collection that has been popular for many, many years. Smaller figures on the smaller scale. If you like to collect, I don't really collect the Vintage Collection, although I will tell you, when you buy the ships and stuff, it's better for that, for the Vintage Collection. Because of course, you know, the scale wise, you know, you can, you know, there's a lot that you can add on, which is great. And they do have some really nice figures for sure, but in a smaller scale. But the most recent thing on pre-order right now, which I think is super, super cool, and I'm tempted because it looks really cool. Otherwise, you would have to go for the Hot Toys, and you know you're gonna pay a premium for that. But it's the Vintage Collection Bantha and Tusken Rider 2-pack. It's $69.99. It's not cheap, but it has the hair, which I think is great. And when you look at the figure, man, that is really nice detail. Here you can see from this angle, that is really, really cool. So definitely, if you're a vintage collector and you like the vintage collection because it reminds you of the old toys, of course, as they were originally, the size, the scale, back in the day that I grew up with, when they, you know, they were this size before, of course, everything started going up in scale. Definitely, this is it. This is you know, a one that really kind of brings those memories back. I think the thing that every kid wanted back in the day, and I didn't have, I remember, was to have the Millennium Falcon in the Vintage Collection. I got a friend of mine that his brother, he was a few years older than him. He used to own it. Man, I used to love to go to his house and play with all, because he had a hefty collection of Star Wars figures. Hefty collection. So yes, it's pretty cool. It's on pre-order right now. Of course, you look at the reviews. Some people are not so happy about it. There's always gonna be some people that they dislike things. It says right here, for example, the overpriced, and the pre-order game will be your ruin. Bye. Okay, so you don't have to pre-order, but you know, yeah, everything has gone up in price. But you know, it's not plastic. It has a lot of that here, so of course that adds a little bit to it. And yeah, it's, you know, but across the board, everything is more expensive. So this is what they have for the vintage collection. Now, if we're talking about another thing that Hasbro released that is super, super cool, we're gonna look at Star Wars again, but I want to cover I'm doing all the exclusives here again. Maybe you can see it there. Here you can see everything that it's there. This is the other figure that I want to cover right now for those who are on the Star Wars, the Black Series, the Ronin, and R5D56. Of course, this is from the, what was that? The TV show, the animated series, which I love. And I'm looking at this. People are saying, "Oh, I wish it wasn't the vintage side collection." I do like this one because, of course, what was that show? I forgot the show animated series that we have on Disney Plus. But with this, it's just a short, but that short is great. Will there be any surprises for May the 4th with Sideshow Premium format? I would think so. I think that Sideshow will have some stuff. I don't know what they're going to have, but I wouldn't be surprised because they always have something. So they maybe have something under the sleeve. Even if it's not like a full pre-order reveal, at least they will probably have some teasers or some sort of reveal. You know, Star Wars is a cash cow. We know that the Darth mold is coming as a quarter scale for the Mythos collection. That we know. So probably that goes on pre-order. But reveal, more than likely they'll have some hints, or at least they give us something just to kind of munch for days, for months, until the next reveal, until, you know, they have their Sideshow Con. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking at this figure. Looks great for the Black Series. Very nice detail. I love this animated series. This short was fantastic. If you haven't watched it, what is it? Man, right now I have it in my head, but for some reason it's keeping my mind. Maybe you can remind me of this show. Let me see. Maybe you can remind me. Disney Plus, Star Wars. And I am definitely lost for words. Man, this is, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm definitely completely, man, this sucks, man. Trying to find something here sucks. Let's see. I don't want to keep you just with trying to, should have notated that, but I totally forgot about it. Oh, right there. And sometimes you got so much, I have so much stuff going on. Well, I forget. You know, it's a TV show. I'll remember maybe down the road. But in any case, this is a really nice figure. And as you can see, very poseable. I think it has some mixed media there. You can post it in different ways. It definitely, a lot of people are going to have fun with the photography on this one. Very cool. I think the choice to do it in black and white, I think that was perfect. It kind of fits with the aesthetics of the show. The packaging, I think, is phenomenal. It's a great packaging, kind of like a gift. It's kind of like a mini Hot Toys packaging. I think it's super, super cool. I think it's a very nice detail. This is an exclusive to Hasbro Pro, so this is the only place where you will be able to find it. Very nice art. This is one that you might, if you want to, you might have to have two. But look at the packaging, how it opens up. It's a piece of art. This is definitely one of the reasons. This is a collectible one, in my opinion. If you want to have the figure, you want to have two, by all means. But I think the packaging alone makes this very worth it. This is one of them that if you're a collector, an inbox collector, then definitely you're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. I like this one. I think not only the figures are great, I think the packaging is great, and I think $69.99 for this as a collectible item. I think why not? You can go for it. I think it's worth the price point. Now let me take you to another thing. Now that I'm here, I was hoping to put this at the end, but I'm gonna do it now because we also have Star Wars has the Black Series Imperial Death Trooper electronic helmet. This is a prop, of course, but it's $99.99. You can get this at Sideshow. You can order this at Big Bad Toy Store. You can order here through Hasbro Pulse or any other toy place. It's a life size, very well done. It does have the lighter feature. I think this is something I would say, if you want to collect this, they are inexpensive. Yeah, you can go for the high-end stuff, which will cost you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, from the big companies that produce a lot of the props. But I'm telling you, Hasbro has been managing to create some really nice helmets. And, you know, why not? For the price, they look so realistic, you know, that you don't break the bank. And they look great on display. People would not know the difference. So I think it's great for $99. For $100, you can order this through Sideshow, through Hasbro Pulse. I think it's fantastic, and I love this helmet. It's one I always love this style of this. Of course, the Imperial Death Troopers. I like him. When I play, you know, Star Wars Battlefront 2, I like to choose them a lot if I get the chance. They're just impressive. They're cool to play with. So yeah, it's nice. So yeah, they're great. And definitely Hasbro is doing really fantastic here with this one. All right, so we're moving to the next thing, and I want to now we're gonna go back to Sideshow. And the reason we go into Sideshow is I can take you to the next figure, and we're gonna look at Hiya Toys. Now, Hiya Toys, of course, this company has been producing stuff for quite some time. But also they've been producing the tiny figures. They're small figures, but they're like even though they're small, don't think that they're like they don't have enough quality. They're only 6.2 inches tall. But here you have this Rick Grimes, of course, from The Walking Dead. And it just comes with so many extra details. Like, when you look at the picture, it's tiny. It looks like a small Hot Toy figure. It's actually a mini Hot Toy figure. And the portrait is fantastic. And look at all the accessories that it comes with. The weapons, the rifle, has a stand, a interchangeable portrait, an axe. It has so many things you can do. Technically you can get this and you can do a lot of photography if you're into toy photography. And man, it's so realistic. This is a very nice figure. I think Hiya Toys has been doing amazing with these figures recently. Here's no exception. Look at the detail, tiny little detail. It's still very, very good. We've seen a lot of companies really going into this small route of making this type of figures. We're seeing now even J&D doing it. So a lot of companies are really understanding that this is a great opportunity, great market. And here you can see the figures. This is perhaps my favorite. This Rick Grimes. We saw Daryl Dixon before. That is also a very nice figure. But I will tell you, the Rick Grimes is perhaps my favorite of the figures so far. But you can see the ones they have done so far. Even Kusunaga Motoko. This is this is on the wait list. But also they're doing the ones for Star Trek. But yeah. This one also, we talked about it before, Judge Dredd. They were nice figures. But yeah, this Rick Grimes looks really fantastic. All right, moving on now. We're going to go now to look at Hot Toys. And of course, Hot Toys getting ready for the big thing, the big celebration. And they have some releases. They're very nice releases that they did, of course, so far. I'm going to start first with the Range Trooper. This is the most recent release they have. I just watched the first episode of Andor. I watched it over the weekend. I did not watch the rest of the episodes. I only want to watch one. But of course, this is from there. If you haven't watched Andor, I recommend you. I think they started pretty strong. I like the show so far. Yeah, I like the first season. So I think this second season is going to be great. This is on a timed release. And this is a funny part of this show, but it, you know, it has his own whole bazooka, or it's a very nice figure for sure. And looking at the pictures, very nice detail. Now, just for reference here, price $275. Oh, sorry. I think we got kicked out again. Let's do it again. So we're looking at the figure. Very nice. I think the price is fair. So, you know, in this case, Hot Toys has maintained the price. It's the first edition exclusive. That means that it's gonna be other editions of this, but as a first edition exclusive, you're gonna get, and this is if you order within the next 27 days, an interchangeable Gryptian boots, which is great. So this is something that's only gonna be unique for this edition. Very nice figure, very cool detail. The same detail that only, as you know, Hot Toys can produce. Hot Toys always on top of its game. Base, very classic, regular Hot Toys base. Nothing out of the ordinary. Very nice figure. Extra weapon there. You can do so many things. I like this figure. You know, I'm a sucker for troopers, and I am thinking I need to start building a collection really with Hot Toys, just with troopers alone. And here you can see the interchangeable Gryptian boots, whether this is the regular one and this will be the exclusive for this particular version. I like the exclusive. It looks really neat. So yeah, overall, great figure for sure. And very nice work here from Hot Toys. Now, the next thing Hot Toys release, we have this Darth Nihilus. Whatever it is. This is, of course, from what is that? The Knights of the Old Republic. And here, it's super great here. I'm trying to see. The figure looks fantastic. This is for the completionist. I'm not necessarily a big Knights of the Old Republic fan, as other people are. But this is definitely a very cool Darth Nihilus. I think that's what you pronounce. I forgot. I think that is right. But here you can see very nice detail, lightsaber and everything. This is part, of course, of the Star Wars Legends nowadays, what they call. But the great detail, the light up feature on that in the saber is pretty nice. And the effect of the power in this pose is actually very, very cool. And of course, he has that lightsaber with that shows that effect, that type of lightsaber. Very cool detail. Oh, there's coming right there. Is that Revan right there? Darth Revan. Oh, look at who is there. I was thinking about the Force Unleashed just last night. I was thinking about playing it. Very cool. So yeah, we see a lot of great things happening with this collection. I'm really looking forward to see what more reviews they're gonna have this weekend. We'll find out more in a few days, but that's cool. Then we have Palpatine, Darth Sidious. And man, this guy is hideous. It's $289 for this one. And he has the, I think, light up feature on the fingers, which is great. I think it does, yeah. LED light up function, power up by USB, which is great. I'd rather have that. And look at the portraits. They did a fantastic job in recreating the portrait. The evil side and the, you know, Palpatine side where he's faking it as he is the, you know, the good guy, but he's not. Nice tailoring. Very nice figure. That guy is horrible. But they did such a fantastic job with this figure. It looks really neat. Nice job. I don't know if he has rolling eyes. He may. Very well done. Look at the hair. I think that's real hair right there. Obi-Wan. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Obi-Wan. Man, right now I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm so tired. I don't even remember things. And I'm confusing people's names and everything. Man, I'm tired. Really tired. Anakin Skywalker right there. Anakin. Very cool. Very nice detail. And they did a really fantastic job with this one. Now, the next thing that I want to show you from Hot Toys, and we just saw it. It was a big surprise. I didn't know it was coming. is this one right here. This Grogu life size, $270. If you're looking for a Grogu, then by all means, this is the perfect one. It's not the first time they have done it, but I think they're gonna do it again. Hopefully it comes with a bag too, so you can carry him. This would be the perfect gift for my daughter. Look at that. First body bag, size to fit Grogu life size collectible figure. That is super, super cool. You can carry your own Grogu. This is a nice thing. You know, I might as well just, man, I feel like tempted to get one too. I need to have Grogu in my life. And man, you can do different poses. That's awesome. And the price is the best part. It's really priced where it should be. It's fair, and it does have hair. Looks very realistic. Very, very nice job. Very nice job with this one. This is gonna be a good seller, so I don't miss on that one because I'm sure it's gonna do really, really, really well. All right, so yeah, this is what Hot Toys has produced today. Very, very cool. And now while we're still here, let's get into more collectibles. And I'm going to talk about a company that is based on New Zealand. And I really haven't discussed it. You can see a couple of items here. Little charms and things are made out of silver. All of that, it belongs to them. But I want to talk about this C-3PO here at Sideshow, of course. But this is Agoro. This company is a mint producer. They're a mint maker. You know, they're a mint that does a lot of silver work. A lot of beautiful things and detailed things. Coins and all that. So they're highly collectible. And they produced this C-3PO, which was super expensive. It's only limited to 500 pieces. So if we go maybe to the website, I think Agoro has its own website, of course. Let's see, we can do Agoro Collectibles Made Precious. If you go to New Zealand Mint, you can see the stuff that they have produced. I don't know if we can see the most recent. A lot of the stuff here is $500. But they have some really high-end collectibles. And, you know, some things for everyone. If we look at Star Wars, let's see at just that one for this company. I'm looking if we can see. You can see they have a lot of trading coins. That's something that they do. I think Agoro has been in business for a very long time. Right there, this is sold out. It was originally $795 US dollars, as you can see. 500 pieces of this. Super, you know, this is not for everyone. You know, gotta be honest with you. But definitely a 500, some people say it's too expensive for what it is. But you're looking at it's made out of silver. It's a really expensive collectible. But yeah, very unique when only 500 made worldwide. Very nice detail. I love even the little base, the Agoro base. It comes in its own packaging that looks really nice. This is for high-end collectors, those who want to have the ultimate thing, an accessory, and you know, accent that you can put on your desk or in your you know, anywhere. You know, it's kind of cool. We've seen people, other companies producing a lot of stuff. You know, I've talked about a lot of companies that produce a lot of high-end stuff. Whether it's porcelain, whether it's you know, you name it, a lot of different things. Many companies produce so many different things. Not everyone understands it, but it's just the principle of these materials are so timeless. And silver is a material, of course, the value of silver. You know, it looks great. It pretty much looks amazing. And this was actually sculpted by 3D master sculptor Alejandro Pereira, which is fantastic. Has done so much work for so many companies, from XM Studios, I think has done work with Sideshow, with so many companies. He's a very talented. And it's a beautiful, beautiful gilded finish piece. Looks really nice. Very, very well done. It's very nice. And yeah, again, it's beautiful. I wanted to show you this, and you know, if you have $800 right now, it's on the wait list, but yeah, $800, why not? Just go for something like this. You feel like, hey, splurging into something of more high end than anything else you can think of, and something that probably will hold more value in the end than a lot of the products that sometimes we buy high prices, but because of the oversaturation of certain things in that particular market, then they kind of lose price over time. You know, trying to selling statues is hard nowadays. But yeah, this is kind of cool. I wanted to show you that. Now, it's still talking about miniature stuff, and you know, things that are tiny in scale. Here at Sideshow, I want to talk about Spiral. Here you have this company right there. It's Spiral Studios. They concentrate. They do Godzilla statues. When you look at Spiral Studios, they do fantastic. A lot of these vinyl pieces or PVC. We have talked about it. A few of them, as you can see, some of the most recent ones. They're great, in my opinion. And I'll show you the newest. And we talked about it a few weeks ago about this others, but I'm going to talk about the most recent one. First, I'm going to start with the Titanus Behemoth. This is $224. When you look at this monster, detail just for purpose, it's made out of PVC, so it's very durable. It's not just solely vinyl, it's PVC, so it's more resilient, more resistant. And it's highly detailed. It's not that big, but as you can see, this guy is holding it. Looks highly detailed. Very, very nice. It's not poseable, you know, but you cannot rotate or have articulation with it because it's a statue. But it looks so well detailed and looks so awesome. Really like the detail on this one. And those tusks look huge, man. Very, very well done. They did a really nice job with this one for sure. But it's not the only one they released. They also have this one right here, the Godzilla. You got the 2024. They got the pre-evolved form. Also got the supercharged form. So you got this. So when you look at Godzilla here on this one, this is just the regular collector's edition, the basic one, which I think is fantastic. $224. Also, again, made out of PVC. Very nice detail in this Godzilla. It's 10.4 inches tall. Very nice paint job. Nice detail. Nice sculpt. And yeah, you can build this collection. These figures are amazing. I've seen reviews of these figures, and people are loving what they're doing. Spiral does amazing. Another company, Hiya Toys, has been doing also amazing Godzilla figures. But look at this one right here. This is the supercharged one. That one looks actually neat. That girl's holding it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the same as the other one. The only difference would be the paint job, which adds, it's more of a, a neon color or something. It might be bright at the dark, maybe. It appears so based on the paint job. It may have a little more of that. Yeah, look at this. It's in the dark and it's bright. So very nice. I think it's a very nice figure. With that color, really shines. It's $235 for that one, $224 for the regular. So I don't know, just pick your poison. I think they're both great, but yeah, with the color, it jumps at you. It looks really, really neat. All right, so let's move on to the next thing, and I want to talk about a company I did not get the opportunity to discuss them last week, so I'm gonna do it now, and I'm gonna take you to a Spec Fiction. Although, actually, no, I'm gonna stay here at Sideshow because Sideshow also is carrying Hex Collectibles. Hex Collectibles also, you're gonna find them at Spec Fiction, but Sideshow has it here. So let me go there, and we're gonna look at Hex Collectibles here. Right there, there's two pieces from Hex. We're gonna talk about this one right now, but before I talk about that one, which I might as well just start with that one. Yeah, I want to start with that one. This one right here, if you're, it is a 1/10 scale. The Grommash Hellscream, this is the bronze color edition. There is a color edition. But this is $190. This is around 1/10 scale. It's a 1/10, as you can see right there. It's pretty cool if you're into the kind of like a bronze look. It's not bronze, because if it was bronze, it would be way more expensive, but it's painted in bronze color. So it's a bronze patina color, bronze fox or whatever you want to call it. But it looks really, really neat. Very nice detail here on this particular piece. It's 12.2 inches tall. Very nice detail. If you're a fan of World of Warcraft, this is a very nice touch for a collection. And I do like the detail on this sculpt, but the paint job, I think, is what makes it stand out. The bronze color, they did a fantastic job to replicate the look of bronze. Sometimes when you see some pieces that are painted in bronze, you can see that it's painted. But this, you know, you can see that the way they did the paint, you know, it looks more like they tried to replicate bronze. This one looks like bronze, which is super, super neat in my opinion. Here's a video from Hex, just to give you an idea of this piece. It's a short from, you know, very nice detail. You know, and very cool detail, the axe. So just for an idea, you can see how beautiful this piece is. Now, if we go into another thing that Hex Collectibles has released, the next thing is this one. I didn't have the opportunity to talk about it. I saw it last week, but I didn't get the chance. This is the Lich King 3D art frame. This is you know, in this case, the Lich King, the Warriors of the Frozen Waste. And of course, this is for wielding the terrifying power of Frostmourne, the Lich King artist emanates his chilling dominance glimpse. So you're definitely a fan of Hearthstone, then definitely you're going to like this one, the Lich King. What I like about this one, I'm trying to look at the dimensions. I think it's around the same scale as a 1. People were saying that it's like a 1. I think it's a 110, just based on the dimensions alone. Made out of polystone, PVC, polyurethane. Oh, I didn't check the previous one. What material was that? It's also this is polystone and PVC, so it does have both. I don't know if it's the polystone by just the base and the figure itself is PVC. I don't know. This one is the same way. So there's, you know, it's a mixed media element here, but looking at this, it looks like the card, and you can actually use it as an accent in a bookcase or on your desk. Very nice detail. I like that it jumps at you like 3D effect, and it's super cool. But also there's not only the front, but also there's detail in the back. So well painted. And definitely, I think that because you see the number 8 right there, I think that what they're gonna do, we're gonna see, if this does well, you're gonna see a series where they're gonna be producing, and this collaboration of course with Blizzard, gonna see more of an addition, different numbers to collect. So it's a cool concept, cool idea, and the sculpt is very, very nice for this one. Very cool, different. It's a concept that is different, but it's unique, and it's always appreciated when companies, you know, try something new and you know, try to do things that are very, very different. So yeah, Hearthstone looking really, really neat, and really, really looking very, very neat. So yeah, this is what you see here right now. Hearthstone, very cool. And this is again from Hex Collectibles. Now let me take you now, we continue now on the 1/10 scale. I'm gonna look here, and we're here at Sideshow. You can also find this at Big Bad Store. You can go to Iron Studios website as well. Let me check Iron Studios quickly, just to give you a reference. But we're gonna come back to Sideshow because I like the way Sideshow does it. Of course, Iron Studios just has a lot of April deals. There's a lot of things that they do. They're constantly running, sharing things. And as you can see, a lot of these things that you see here, we're going to discuss. Some of those things there, I don't care much about, but some things are really, they're really, really cool. When you look at the pre-order list what's out there. Some of the stuff that it's here. Look at that. What is that with Wolverine? Looks like Mexirine. He looks so Mexican in there. Yeah, no. And I'm Mexican. I can make fun of that. But in any case, you can see it. But yeah, moving along. You can come also to Big Bad Toy Store, because now Big Bad Toy is being carrying a lot of these Iron Studios. You can go to Spec Fiction. They're also carrying Iron Studios. So yeah, there's a lot of places you can go for Iron Studios products. They are doing really, really neat. Some things are here, like this one. I'm gonna come back in just a moment. And there are things that are only unique to this place. So in any case, we're coming here. Well, no, let's go back to Sideshow. So I'm coming to Sideshow so I can go and show you the stuff that is announced from Iron Studios. First, let me start here with try to kind of find my footing here. Let's start first with right there. Flash Unleash. Very nice Flash, to be honest with you. Portrait, he looks a bit, I don't know, a little older. I don't know, he looks a little bit more like jaded, like he's been through a lot, through divorces and such. You know, he just, I don't know, he just looks a little bit jaded. $205. However, I do like the pose they chose for this one. Very nice detail with it. The whole thing with the highway, with the effect of the highway, not a fan of. I think that's something that I would rather see in a different way or portrayed differently. I do like the figure and the dynamic pose of the figure. He looks fantastic that way. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, he's running. And I like the choice that they have with the outfit. Mix between classic and modern. Now, those the gaps in his outfit that might need some work, need to be fixed. They look very wide. But yeah, that's something perhaps because it's just the model. Some of those might be the line of the outfit, but they look like very, very marked gaps. So that needs to be maybe softened. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the base. That's the only thing that I'm going to complain. And I feel that in some angles, maybe it's just the angle, he looks a bit stocky. He should be more slim. But this picture here looks really nice. He looks great on that picture. But yeah, his face looks like he's been through hell and back, man. He's just like not a happy fella. Not as happy as I would love to see the Flash. As in my mind, I've always seen Flash. But yeah, that is the first figure Iron Studios release that I want to cover. The next figure on my list, if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, we have Kitana. Kitana looking great, $205 for this one. Continue to grow this collection. The Mortal Kombat collection continues to expand. The great thing about this one is it comes with 2 extra portraits. A more classic portrait and a more modern portrait. I prefer the classic with the hair just loose. The base looks fine. Yeah, that is the portrait in my mind that I see Kitana that I prefer. Very nice detail, very nice paint job, very nice detail there. Very well done piece. And you can see the details there. Very nice job for Kitana. So this is from the Mortal Kombat collection. Continues to grow. The next thing in my list here, you can see for Star Wars fans, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, they continue to grow this one with Anakin Skywalker. Again, $205. That's become kind of like the standard price for 110. The base kind of following the same trend of this collection. I would say this is perhaps my least favorite piece, at least so far. Well, the ones we have seen so far. It's just basic, based on the TV series. Nothing beyond that. It does have an extra lightsaber effect that you can use. Not sure how much difference does that make. The only bad thing, of course, is that they don't have light up features. That's my thing that I have about these pieces. You know, I feel that Hot Toys is doing it and is doing amazing light up features. You know, we have a lightsaber. Why not just add the light up feature? It really adds more dimension to a piece. So that is what we see from Anakin. Now moving in Disney, but now going into the Marvel direction, we have Electro, and this Electro, $255, a little more expensive. Of course, Marvel license is more expensive, but this one has a lot of great detail, and you can see the base is bigger, and Electro, like he looks electrified. You know, he looks like at that portrait he's angry. Very nice detail. Looks like a maniac about to about to fry somebody with a lot of amperage. That is a pretty cool and let me know if the music is too loud, because I found the music a bit loud. I'm not sure if that is the case. If that is the case, just let me know so I can fix it. Maybe it's too loud. I just lower it just in case. But yeah. So it looks cool. I think it's a very nice, you know, I think it's great. This collection that they've been building with Spider-Man, with everything with Marvel, I think it's always been a stellar. I think they've always been doing amazing with it. Now, the next thing I want to show you, Cobra Commander. This is a very impressive piece. Cobra Commander looks really dynamic in that pretty much in that throne pose. $205. But if there's a character that definitely sits well with thrones, definitely one of them. Of many characters, they do well with thrones. Definitely Cobra Commander is one of them. And this looks amazing. Great detail. It really throws me back. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sideshow did a Cobra Commander many years ago. Sideshow Cobra Commander throne. Of course, you know, Hot Toys had its own version back in the day. This is the throne that was for G.I. Joe from Sideshow, which is part of their figures. They did the whole figure. But then you have this one right here, the diorama made out of polystone, which is many years ago. Still a fantastic one. Very nice detail. Very nice diorama. When Sideshow was the king of dioramas, and they were doing dioramas left and right. So you got that. Also, of course, you get the Hot Toys version, which you can do that too for 1/6 scale figures. Fantastic options. There were so many options then. It's nice to see that they kind of, it's a throwback in some way. All he needs is like the red guard. You need, like, you know, some of them on the side to display, and that will make it even better as a display. But they really add very nice detail. And of course, the Cobras, the whole thing, the throne, the detail, the paint job, the pose. It's a fantastic job with this one. This is a really neat one. They did a really cool job with it. So congratulations to Iron Studios for doing a fantastic job with it. They honestly killed it. So it's kind of cool that they did. It's definitely very cool. So this is definitely the most impressive of the stuff they showcase here. Now, the next thing I want to show you, of course, if you are Knights of the Zodiac fan, which there's a big fan base out there, then you have to go for this right here. Arius Mu. Arius Mu. There's a deluxe version. One of the Aries, of course, one of the Golden Knights, and There's a deluxe version. The collector's edition is the regular version. Here you can see very simple pose, simple base, beautiful detail on the hair. It's in a classic Ares pose. I would say with the portrait, the likeness is so-so. But in this case, the armor looks really fantastic. I think the armor is probably a great selling point. Nice detail. I think we have seen other Ares from other companies. I think they have done a better job, but this is a 110. Keep in mind for the scale, $255. I think this is gonna do well because of course there's so many fan base. It's a big fan base. There's a lot of fans for Knights of the Zodiac. Now the deluxe version is the one that probably most people are going to be more intrigued by it. Although I don't understand the choice that they did with Ares to actually have the armors of the silver knights there. Of course, Seiya, Andromeda. You know, I don't know what they decided to add it there to that. It doesn't, to me, doesn't seem add really much value. I feel that, yeah, as much as I like this, this should be part of the other knights, of the silver knights, instead of Ares. I don't know why they chose that. Even though Ares, you know, is one of the good guys, so you can call it that. I just don't see what was the desire to do it this way. It makes the base, the whole base, a bit more busier and less aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. Even he looks stockier. Even he looks shorter than what he actually is. So I don't know. I think this is definitely my disappointment. If I had to go, I would say maybe go for the classic one, unless you want to have this. But other than that, I think the regular looks more than fine. $255 versus the $100 more, and you'll get in this detail that, to be honest, it doesn't really tells me of Ares. I don't know. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. So that would be my thing. Now, while I have you here, I'm gonna take you to Big Bad Toy Store because I want to show you the next thing. And actually no, we are still at Sideshow because there's one that I miss and I want to go back. Is this right there, Aang? If you are a fan, of course, of Avatar: The Last Airbender, they have this Aang. And I will tell you one thing, in some way it looks really neat. But at the same time, I feel that there's so much stuff going on inside that sphere that I feel that the opportunity is missed to have a better looking Aang. Kind of cool. The detail. Appa's there. I wouldn't have even noticed until you pointed out. So I feel that it's a busy depiction. So that might be the only thing. I like that they're using clear resin. I love clear resin, but I feel that in some way a lot of things are lost in this whole depiction that could have been done a bit more clean, and it will still look better. I don't know. Of course, you see the effects of all his power. You see the water, the wind, the fire, and the earth. So he has all those effects of the powers that he used as the Avatar. So yeah, that would be probably the thing. Now, I saw that they have this thing, which is kind of interesting. This, I'm not going to talk really about it. It's Vargina, I think that's what it's called. But this is an alien. Back in the 90s, there was a big UFO situation that happened in Brazil, a sighting. And, you know, there was a whole thing that happened back in the 90s. There was a lot of things that happened in Latin America. Like I know in Mexico, there was a lot of sightseeings of, you know, like UFOs. So this was a big thing that happened. So in this particular town, I think it's Vargina. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I think this is just to that, in reference to that. So this is very Brazilian in itself. Most people would not know who this guy is. It's not based on a show or anything. It's just mostly based on the events that happened then. So it's interesting that they're selling that. Again, a reminder that at the end of the day, Iron Search is a Brazilian company and they cater to the Brazilian market first and foremost. Although they have grown big, they still go back to what they know best. So, and one thing that I don't think I got the opportunity to discuss before, and it might be only this battle armor version. I don't think, here you can see what I was saying about the exclusion. The following notice applies to this product. Listed price excludes tariff surcharge. So that's just good to know. But here's $289. And this is a very nice battle armor He-Man. Very nice with the axe and with the shield. Very cool. I think this might be only exclusive here at Iron Source because they also have their own exclusives now through here for Iron Studio, so which is great. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you today. Definitely these companies are doing really amazing work. Again, Iron Studio is doing really amazing, and so far really impressed with everything that we're seeing today. All right, my friends, I think it's 8:20. I want to take a break so I can come back. I still have some to go, but I want to just finalize in the next hour. I want to finalize everything, but I want to take a break. I need to walk around, but I want to say thank you. Don't forget to leave a like. Let me know you're watching. I appreciate your support. It's always welcome. So leave a like. Let me know you're watching, and just give me a moment while I just stretch myself, maybe take the dogs out. Only open the door for them to run to the backyard, and I'll be right back. So see you in a moment.
Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out. It's karma. It's okay to hurt your voice screaming in my face. I know you gotta bark when you don't got bite. Tell me, what's that like? What's that like? Being that insecure, acting up, immature. Had enough, I'm so bored. I'm so bored. You know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. Now you got hurt 'cause you made me. Yeah, you know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You only got hurt 'cause you made me bored. It's karma. It's karma. Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out. Snip, snip, got in your bullshit with a plot twist. Don't waste my time, I don't do toxic. I see you looking at me like she's so sweet. She's so nice, I can do what I like, right? Did I make you cry? I forgot that you're right. You know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You now you got hurt 'cause you made me. Yeah, you know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You only got hurt 'cause you made me bored. It's karma. It's karma. It's karma. Snip, 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 snip. I'm so bored.
All right. How are you guys? Thank you for giving me a little opportunity to unwind a little bit, to relax my back. Been sitting here is not always fun, but yeah, as we continue on, we have more stuff to cover, a lot of more things to discuss in today's video. Let me grab the phone. Sorry, I have to put it to charge, so I was charging it. But okay, we continue on with the statues. We have covered a good ground today. But yeah, welcome again. Don't forget to leave a like. Let me know if you're watching. I want to say thank you to those who are taking the time to do it. Thank you, Cormac, Daniel. Thank you very much. Anyone else that actually is leaving your comments, appreciate it. They're highly appreciated, the comments that you leave here. All right, so we're moving to the next thing. And let me go back here, and I'm gonna take you now to let me close some of the windows here. I like to keep things clean, but I want to take you to Diamond Select Toys. Diamond Select Toys. They, even though, you know, they've been through everything that, you know, the whole thing with the bankruptcy, they still holding on for dear life. So we got to give them credit for that. Holding on for dear life. So Diamond Select Toys, looking at the new pre-orders that they have. Some cool stuff for all fans still. You know, they still holding on to a lot of things. But I want to show you the newest pre-orders that they have. We haven't covered some of them. But first and foremost, I want to start with this one right here. If you are a fan of Deadpool, finger guns, of course, this started as a Scotty Young collection and then evolved into their own. But it's mainly, it definitely has like a Scotty Young vibe, and it's been popular. $59.99 for this. This is the new addition to it. You can see very tiny, very small figure. But if you're like really like a Scotty Young, you like the baby look of the heroes, this is the new one. And actually, this Deadpool looks really cool. With the killer fingers. Nice detail. This is made out of polystone. I think price $60 is where it needs to be. And as you can see, can ship a lot of places in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Hong Kong, Macau, China, New Zealand, Taiwan, United States. Edition size 3000. And of course, this was sculpted by Gentle Giant Studio, of course distributed by Diamond Select Toys. So that is very, very, very neat. Now, the next one that I want to show you here. Let me see. I want to make sure that I have my line correct here. Still going into the next one. Let me come here. It's another. This is a PVC statue, but I do like the detail here. This is the gallery diorama, which is made out of PVC. This is Sabertooth. I don't know if we know who has sculpted it. It's not that big of a. It's a 6.25 inches PVC statue. It's not that big. Oh, right there. It's sculpted by Alteron. Alteron has been doing so many sculpts over the years. Love his work. I've always loved his work, and you know, he's been working with them. So this is the new thing. Now, the only thing I complain is about here. You can see this. I think this, they didn't notice that it was like this arm is completely separated. You can see. So that is a mistake that they didn't notice when they were taking the picture. So I think that's going to be corrected. It's a nice sculpt. Too bad it's just, you know, PVC. Yeah, because looking at it here, looking at the arm, it's separated. Separated. But here it's attached. So it fell off and they didn't even notice and took the picture. So it shouldn't be like that. But yeah, it's a nice sculpt with a classic Sabertooth. 90 Sabertooth. And actually the sculpt is pretty neat. Some of the lines, of course, are not necessarily I'm a fan of. But Alterton did a good job. And it's a very inexpensive diorama if you're interested. And this is the next thing that they have. Now, when you look at other things that they release, I'm gonna show you. Of course, everything that is Marvel related, normally you're gonna see it right here. So this is what they have. But if we come to Gentle Giant normally handles anything that has to do with Star Wars. So on the Diamond Select side, we're gonna see the Marvel stuff and other stuff. On this side, of course, they sculpt the statues like this. But when it comes to buy Star Wars, this is the place that you got to come. You can see they sculpted this one, so they announced it there too. But the things that we have covered, this is the new thing. This is the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano. This is $99. This is an animated mini bus. This is, I think, it's a 1/7 scale or so. It's gonna 3,000 pieces released for this one. Very cool. Although I prefer Ahsoka with lightsabers. So this is more of a added to the Ahsoka. You know, like it's only 5 inches tall. Pretty cool. Nice skull, nice paint job. But yeah, I wish he had the lightsabers. That would be the thing. But this is what they have here. The other thing that they also released, they continue on with this, the 3D Legends in 3D Dimension bus, which is technically a half-scaled bus, $200 for this one. These are, of course, made out of also polystone. This is from the Armorer. This is from the Mandalorian, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure if it was necessary to have an armor bus, but yeah, they did. And it's not bad. Although, you know, of course, this is sculpted. So honestly, the only thing that makes it look cheap, of course, is the fur. And you can see how sculpted it is, and the paint job makes it look a little on the cheaper side, very stiff looking. But still, very cool addition. Again, $300 for this one. They've been very, very selective, very good at this, producing this 3D sculpts. 1,000 pieces just the release for that. But here you can see all the things that they have done so far in this collection. You see they did the Empire Strikes Back Snowtrooper. That's a nice one. They have done the First Order Stormtrooper, also Bo-Katan. Very cool. This bus line has been doing great. Look at this one, Grand Admiral Tron, looks really neat too. So Palpatine. So this collection, they've been doing really nice bus. I think for fans of bus, why not? I think there's a ample number of statues, and they're doing pretty well with them. And again, this is from Gentle Giant. Now, if I'm going back to Sideshow, I'm gonna go to look at Kotobukiya. Of course, Kotobukiya is a company that, you know, we love and hate. Sometimes they do good, sometimes they not so much. And they have this new figure. I like it with this figures. More for people who love anime stuff. And this is Eltaline, and this is for the Unicorn Overlord, Rosaline's twin sister, and the Tyrannos of Elhine. Joins the figure lineup, a 1/7 scale figure. Now, you know, there's many companies that produce figures. Many Japanese companies do, many Asian companies do, but I do love Kotobukiya. I think Kotobukiya as one of the top 3 companies that produces figures because of the quality of their figures, and because they don't go with cheap stuff, you know, bases. Of course, right now, Prime 1 Studio is being hit hard now with their own Prisma Wing line, which they're producing a lot of this stuff. But I think Kotobukiya is still a fair company that does amazing. And I love the simplicity even on the bases. But the bases comes with texture. And you can see this like green grass. Very nice detail on the hair. And if you're talking about a company that's been doing these figures for a long time, Kotobukiya, it's definitely up there. You can say also Good Smile Company is another one. But yeah, I would say Kotobukiya is one of the top 3. Top 5 at least, but you know, in my opinion, top 3. But that's definitely top 5 companies producing anime figurines and figures. And this is a 1/7, so this is in the bigger size. So it looks really cool. Very nice detail, very nice paint job, very nice sculpt, well detailed. Everything is well done. I definitely like how they did the base there. It hides the, you know, this part that I've never been a fan of. Of course, this silver little piece that keeps it in place, translucent, transparent piece of plastic or PVC, but it hides it so well there, you barely can see it there, which is great. Other companies don't hide it so well, and I think when you put something, or at least give some texture to the base, then you can hide it well. So yeah, Kotobukiya did another one, $185, which is the standard price. It's amazing when I remember this, all these figures were around 50-60 bucks, and now after so many years, all these figures now $200, you know, some of them even $300. It's just amazing to see how far we have come. And of course, the cost of things have gone up. But yeah, this is what Kotobukiya produce. Now, talking about another company that does amazing statues or figurines from Japan, but mostly on the horror side, and also video games. They're also kind of more on the horror side. You have to talk about Gecko Corporation, Gecko Company. This is the Hunter the Blood Regain edition. This is a very interesting piece. Of course, this replaces the weapons from the old Hunters version released back in 2018. Something that Gecko has been doing is doing revisions of some of the previous statues that they were releasing before. So they're going back to the drawing board and releasing with more additions, with more weapons, or with different recoloring, repaints, all of that. So this is one of them. So it's been, what, 7 years since that one was released. Now they come in with this other version. It is a bit more bloodier, and it does have more weapons too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a revision. It looks fantastic. If you miss out on the first one, then by all means you can go for this one. Very bloody. If you know Gecko, you know that that's what they do. This is a 1/6 scale statue made out of PVC. But Gecko is definitely very well sold out as a company. They're not really a huge company, but they do great detail. They're very well respected in Japan. And here you see a lot of blood in there. Definitely is a bloody mess. But look at the weapons. Look at that one. The level of detail is, I think, what sells it. Look at that axe. So you can come up with so many different ways to display this character. I think that's the selling point, of course, is selling it this way with so many things. So Gecko is doing really cool stuff with this new statue, or this revision of the previous statue. Now, if I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna go to. Now we're still on the 1/6 scale. We already started with the 1/6. We're gonna go to Sume Art. This company also released a new statue. It's available also at Spec Fiction. And we're gonna go Spec Fiction in just a moment. But they release, and maybe waiting for the what it's doing. I'm gonna take you to Spec Fiction. Here we're gonna look at some of the statues. You can see some of the statues that we had covered today are here, but this is the one, the Bleach Grimjaw Jiggerjacks Ikage, which is the 1/6 scale statues that they do with not really huge bases. $420. It looks really cool. Now I've seen a very nice Grimjaw statues. Of course, this is in his form as a wolf, really, and it's kind of cool that even though they make this basic bases, they manage to add a lot of detail to that base. It looks so great. Very cool detail for sure. And definitely the Bleach collection continues to grow. Everything they've been doing so far, you know, with this Ikage collection, keeps producing and producing. They're definitely doing amazing work. And this gives you an idea of the dimension of the statue. Very cool. This collection, as you can see, the other character, I think that hasn't come out in pre-order yet. I think that's coming. I'm not sure if that was on pre-order yet. But yeah, Sume are really doing really fantastic work. As you can see, we're going to see what it's still loading. For some reason it's not, but you can see a lot of the things are coming. Saint Seiya continues to grow. My Hero Academia, you know, like Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter. Oh, this one, it's already out. This Bleach already came out. Okura's Shifar. I think we talked about it before. So this is the other piece. Look at the detail there. So this two additions to the collection, to the Bleach collection. The Ikage collection is really doing really fantastic. I would say Sume are impressive as always. All the details, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto Shippuden, you know, they have so much stuff. And they keep doing amazing work. They understand their market, they understand the anime market, and I think as a licensed company, they do amazing work for sure, and they deliver. Every single release delivers. It's an impressive company with a really nice pedigree. Not one of the old. It's not an old company, but it's a company that in the time that they've been here, they have really showcased their talent and their ability and their desire and what they really want to accomplish. And definitely, they're up there. They're leaders in the market. So yeah, I love what Sume does. So yeah, this is another great addition to their collection. Now, while I'm having you here at Spec Fiction, the next thing I want to cover, and we're still on the 1/6. This is the newest addition for, and this is actually coming from Toei Animation directly, but it's also, it's a collaboration with Lightyear Studio, which is actually the company based in China who sculpted this piece, and for Toei Animation, which again is a Japanese company. But Toei Animation, you can find this. The Toei Animation store over there in Japan sells directly. There are two different versions of this statue for matching Vegeta. Again, 1/6 scale. The version A is the regular version. $695. This is an impressive piece. We have seen other companies producing very similar matching Vegetas. We have seen custom pieces. But I would say that the company that has impressed me with their stuff, of course, that would be Sume Art. They did a matching Vegeta that was amazing. If I show you right now, Sume matching Vegeta. This, we talk about it. This is a quarter scale piece. An impressive piece. I cover it. I talk about it definitely time ago. But look at see on eBay. This is going for $7,000. Such an impressive piece of Vegeta. Imagine Vegeta looks amazing. It's quarter scale. Well, now this is a 1/7. There's many Imagine Vegetas, but this one right here looks great, and the detail is great. Lightyear Studio did a fantastic job in really recreating this art, and it looks phenomenal as a 1/6. The whole base, the power of coming to this level of Vegeta, it's just amazing. Very nice detail. There's no swap out parts, and looking at that base, it's a huge base. Size wise, and the price I think is fantastic for what you're getting here. Very nice vase. Very impressive piece. And that's the version A. You have also version A exclusive, version B exclusive. This is just the version A regular. Now, if we go into the version A exclusive, $885 for this version. It comes with the two pieces. This is it has with that effect, but also comes with a more calmer version. So you technically get two pieces for the price of one. That's what it seems. You get that, which is impressive. Again, this is a 1/6. This is what we just saw. But then, of course, you get that extra piece in a more calmer way, getting into that level. It's just great. It's a great price, and the price I think is fantastic. Now, looking at more versions, you got the regular 6, the B. Now we get the B regular. So let's say that you don't want that effect. You want the calmer version, $695. It still has that, that huge base, but I think what happened is that you actually can put insert this inside the dome, which is awesome. This Majin Vegeta looks amazing in my opinion. I like this one too. But again, it's just this pose. He doesn't have the screaming pose. The base is impressive. Very nice. But now let's say that you want the B exclusive, which okay. Actually, no, you don't put it in the center. This is just vice versa. You want him and be exclusive. You want him to have this pose and the screaming on this side. I'll tell you, I will go for A exclusive because you want to have the effect where his power is just rising up. I go for the other one. Either way, I think it's good that you have two options. So sometimes companies give you these weird options, which I hate. When they give you the options where you don't understand exactly what they're trying to accomplish. Now you get the option either way to do it this way. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. Some companies, they only give you an option. You can only have the extra piece by going with the extra exclusive, and it's super expensive. I think the price, you're getting a great two pieces for the price of $185 plus shipping. I think it's a fantastic price for Vegeta. It's a phenomenal thing. I think Toei Animation, looking at the stuff they have produced so far, a lot of the stuff again is produced with the help of in this case Toei. Lightyear Studio does a lot of things. You got the Ultra Instinct Goku 1/6 scale statue. We talked about it some time ago. That is also a fantastic piece, which wasn't bad. I was a little bit not happy with the base. I found the base too busy. But I think that what they have done here with this one is really good. Now, Son Gohan is coming, so hopefully we'll get to see more of that. But definitely Vegeta, Majin Vegeta is perhaps one of the most impressive pieces they have produced so far. So that is great in my opinion. So yeah, kudos to them for doing such an amazing job. All right, so now we're here, still here at the Spec Fiction. Now I'm gonna move into PG Studio. Always producing amazing stuff. PG Studio, of course, does its own thing, but PG Studio, of course, also PG Studio is a company that does a lot of their own style, nothing really attached to anything. But they create their own art. So now they have this. The first thing that I see is this, and this I think is PVC. I was looking at materials, and yes, PVC, plush textile, and metal chain. So it's a PVC statue, $150. I think is fair. It doesn't give us a scale, but I think it's gonna be on the smaller scale. It's a non-scale statue, so I'm guessing it's gonna be small, unless we see dimensions here. This is a rabbit, a bright rabbit. PG again does a lot of sexy girls. You know, if you're into the sexy stuff, then definitely PG can be a good company. Definitely look at the detail there back there. So PG does amazing. There's other companies that I suspect Vision is selling, but they're more on the, in my opinion, more on the pornographic side. It's something that I necessarily not a fan of. You know, yeah, I like beautiful women. I like beautiful sculpts of women, but I like it when there's a little more taste. At least in my opinion. So this Yatu Bright Rabbit by New Era and Lou Errol statue. So they with PG's also there's collaborations with a lot of artists and helps them to promote their own products, or you know, produces their products designed by certain artists. I think this is the design of this New Era cross collaboration with Lou Errol. So I think they did a really nice job with this one. A very cool piece. Now another thing that they release is this Star Wars series as part of their this particular series. It's called the Messiah. This is the bright version. There's two versions. This is the bright version. $555 for this one. Very cool artistic piece. As you can see, the detail very nicely done. Not necessarily, you know, attached to anything, to be honest with you. It's part of the Armor Force series. You know, the Armor Force series has been that kind of like their own artistic take of a lot of female characters, and the, you know, and they have different series in the Armor Force. I think this is the new line of kind of sub line within the Armor Force series, which is called the Star Wars series. So it's really cool. Very nice detail. This female, I like the skin, the skull they use, the material they use on the skin looks so realistic, like real skin. Very nice detail. Looks like he has mixed media, but it seems to be a lot of, it's fully sculpted. It may have some mixed media elements. So this is the one for $555. Now there is a different version that it's this is called the Soul version, and this is like the one we just saw, $595, which I think is a phenomenal price. This one that we just saw is $155. But let's say that you want the one that has an extra portrait, then you can go with this Soul version, which technically is two portraits for the price of one. It's like the exclusive version, and the level of detail on this one is amazing. It really changes with the extra portrait. It changes the piece 100%. It's a nice detail here for this quarter scale statue. Very beautiful, very artsy, very nice detail. Beautiful piece for sure. Very well done. So this is the Armor Force PG Studio with the Armor Force series. They are continuing to impress. A lot of these female characters that they do are amazing. Other companies produce female statues, but I do like how classy this company does it. And they don't fall into the vulgar side that some other companies do. And that is one thing that I would say PG is good at. You know, they can be sometimes extreme, but they're doing it the right way, and that is always good. All right, so now let's move to a big hitter. Let me drink some water. We're gonna go to a big hitter of the night. I know many of you perhaps are waiting for this one. We got 3 more companies, and we go into the big hitters now. So I'm going to Sideshow, and in Sideshow we're going to talk about I think the biggest release that they have, of course, most recently, at least from last week, and that is if you are a fan of. We cover a good ground today, but this is, in my opinion, there are so many releases, like a lot of different things. But the one, hey, wait a minute, it's kind of like I skipped it or something. Maybe I passed it. Which is surprising. Right there. It was right in front of me. Moon Knight is a premium format figure. This piece definitely was highly anticipated. $825. I think it's a phenomenal sculpt. And looking at giving credit to the people who are involved in the manufacture of this piece, of course. We have Maria Panfilova. She's the sculptor. She does amazing. Maria does amazing work. She's a very talented sculptor for sure. Richard Long, longtime designer from Sideshow Collectibles. Kat Sapine did a phenomenal job once again, no doubt about it, with every time she paints too. Sideshow design development team involved in the whole process. Definitely, this is a great team here doing amazing work. But there's the collector's edition and there's the exclusive. Now, the collector's edition, to be disclosed, beautiful statue. Look how impressive it is. I gotta be honest with you. There's been statues of the, of course, on Moon Knight. But even I would never been impressed with a lot of Moon Knights. I haven't been, even with Bowen. I had the Bowen designs at some point. I wasn't impressed with it. This is the way I see Moon Knight. This is a very impressive looking Moon Knight, perhaps the best. And there's not many Moon Knights to go around, but they did such a fantastic job with that sculpt and with that perch base and perch of that, and of course the wolf, the main wolf. It looks so neat. Look at that. A wolf by night, but I'm telling you, it's such amazing. It's such a great piece, man. It doesn't have switch up portraits. Of course, he has the modern portrait here, but it does have switch up portraits on Moon Knight. So they didn't. They just went straight with Moon Knight just the way it is, and I think it doesn't need it. Even the regular looks amazing. Very, very good. So the werewolf looks amazing. Very nice detail with that werewolf. Very modern. This is a nice take. And when you look at this one, the paint job, you know, he's been through a battle, so there's some damage to his clothing, you know, scratches and all. It's just great. Sideshow really did an impressive piece, and that's the exclusive portrait. Of course, this is the classic Werewolf by Night portrait that comes with the exclusive. But yeah, the just regular looks amazing. But now when you look at the exclusive, we're gonna look at that, and here you can see here the exclusive version of the Moon Knight premium format figure features an additional head sculpt for Werewolf by Night. Collectors can choose a classic Jack Russell portrait instead, showcasing smaller ears and a shorter muzzle. This swap out portrait is the perfect homage to this character's comic history, dating all the way back to 1972, which was the introduction of course, Moon Knight. Here, I would say if you're like classic person, you love the classic characters, then definitely you have to go for the classic portrait. You got to go for the classic, but this one is an interchangeable portrait, which just makes it good, in my opinion. You can have the classic Werewolf by Night portrait, or you can go for the modern one. Either way, you're still good, and it's good. It's like you get two pieces for the price of one. That, in my opinion, is great. Very cool detail, very nice piece. Again, kudos to them. Kudos to Maria. She did a fantastic job. Kat Sapine, they fantastic. Richard Long. Again, they did a really nice job. This is a fantastic piece. Of highly recommendation. Definitely for the hardcore fan. It's great when they do characters that they don't do often, and it's great when Sideshow kind of gets to it, because when they do it right, and this is definitely a right one. Sometimes they might miss the mark, sometimes they do, but I think this one didn't. I think this one is a fantastic one for sure. So this is what they did. Now, I was trying to go to The next company we're gonna go to see PCS Collectibles. I think the website has been down for quite some time. I think they're doing some maintenance to the website, so unfortunately, it's been down. That's not gonna stop us to really look at the newest thing. When you go there, yeah, it's been hard. It's been down for quite a while. They talk about it. They said that they will let us know when it was back up, but so it's been down. So it's down. However, we can come to Sideshow, and here at Sideshow we can look at the newest pre-order from PCS Collectibles, which is a massive statue. If you're a Unicron fan, then why not? This is it. $3,500 for this baby. It's a huge piece, huge statue, and I'm telling you, this is what PCS is doing fantastic. They haven't really been slow so far this year. They also been the owner company has been definitely outspoken, although it's been quiet lately, but he was very outspoken initially about the whole thing with the tariff stuff. They're a small company, definitely they're on the line, but they have such great projects in front of them. And this is a fantastic. They went for the classic. The only thing that reminds me of this is, of course, the Haslab Unicron version, which I miss and I wish I didn't, but whatever. I'm gonna get at some point. Maybe the aftermarket gonna pay top dollar for it. In any case, for my Transformers collection. But this is such a, maybe this is an option, but $3,500, maybe with the prices of the Haslab is, maybe it goes down eventually. But in any case. But look at the detail, and the detail on those wings. You can tell you that it's going to be one that is going to be hard. You got to be careful not to break. It is a huge piece. It's 24 inches in height, 43.5 inches in width, 20 inches in depth. It's a huge piece, a huge throne. But they went with the classic. The paint job is amazing. Even the planets that in his throne. Such a way to do it. It's classic. The only thing that I wish he had, I don't see, is light up features. Light up features would have made it even better. At this price point, might as well just put some light ups, at least the eyes to light up and do some effects. It's such a huge piece. Very, very, very nice. Very nice Unicron. When you look at all the Unicron statues that have been produced over the years, there's been a few small and big, and there's been some really nice figures. There's been so many companies doing a lot of different things, companies in China. But I will tell you, from all the statues, I look at this one. This was, I remember, from Hard Hero, which was a classic. At some point, this was the ultimate statue, I remember, from Hard Hero. Everybody wanted to have it. The gold cast porcelain from Hard Hero, a company that, rest in peace, Hard Hero. It was a great company. I used to collect a lot of things from them. Then you have other companies doing other things like this one right here. A lot of these are custom pieces that were produced. But I will tell you, this, in my opinion, what you see right now is the ultimate depiction in statue form of Unicron. In my opinion, it looks fantastic. They did such an amazing job. I don't know if it's gonna be any type of special at the website. More than likely, I don't know. Look at the detail there. It's just an impressive. But so far, of course, the website is down. But it's here at Sideshow. You can also come to Big Bad Toy Store, and it's also available here, if I'm not mistaken. You can type Unicron. You can see it's available there. You can also come to Spec Fiction. It's also available there. So it's going to be available in so many different stores. So it's available everywhere. I'm sure Planet Earth also is going to be there. So yeah, it's going to be available in different places. So yeah, it's a beautiful statue. Besides the price, I think they did a fantastic job. Dimension wise, it's pretty tall, it's pretty big, so it's impressive. Now, going into impressive things also, and also on the pricey side, and we're going to end with this one tonight. That's going to be the final thing tonight. It's going to be Prime One Studio. Prime One Studio, they never, they're never behind. They have this statue also available at Sideshow, also available. You can come to a Spec Fiction. I think they have it at Spec Fiction. Let me see if it's here. It may not be. It made some. Yeah, it's here. Also, you probably hear the Big Bad Toy Store. All the companies nowadays are distributing for everybody, so there's always a plus. Although I don't see it here. It may not be on Big Bad Toy Store yet, but eventually it will be. Sometimes there's a delay. So if I do Pacific Rim, it's not there yet. New and popular. Not there yet, but eventually it will be. But in the meantime, you can go to Spec Fiction, or here on Prime One Studio, going to the source. We know it's a Sideshow. Although right now with Sideshow, some things take a little bit to get there. Like this from Prime One Studio Morrigan that was last week is already available here on pre-order. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to make it here, but it's here. Gypsy Danger right there, battle mode. This is a statue that technically we had before, this bus, but this is the version with the arms. So this is a better version. Some people are, I think people were saying, I'm not sure. I think they were, if they were sell parts or people were asking for parts to be added, or, you know, to sell parts to combine with the older version. I think that's something to do with it. I'm not necessarily, don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think there was talks about it, but it's $5,000. Edition size only of 100 pieces. Still a big number for something so big, but look at the details here. The Lido features, the difference with this bus is it has the arms and it has the effects, and the Lido features I'm sure are going to be impressive. This is an impressive, it was already an impressive bus, but this one of course is a better version of the previous one. And look at the detail, the Lido feature, Prime One Studio again killing it with the way they do things, showcasing why they are at the top of their food chain when it comes about production of statues. It's just an amazing looking piece with heavy detail, and the Lido features are a must in my opinion. Make the piece look even better and more impressive. Very nice detail, very well done. And again, you can order through Sideshow, you can go order through right now Spec Fiction. Big Bad Toys are not yet, but I'm sure that eventually it will end up there too. It's such an amazing looking statue for sure. All right, my friends. Yeah, definitely now coming to the end of the video. Let me drink some water and then, of course, give you my final thoughts. We did pretty good. We did pretty good, which I thank you. I'm trying to limit the time, be more proactive also, and not just get to hang in a lot of things, but it's a work in progress. I'm still getting things done. As you can see, my room is looking better, at least more detailed. There's more work to be done. Some things that I gotta fix and arrange and maybe change, but that is a work in progress, and we're working on those things. And give me time, I'll get there. You know, it's a lot of things that I still want to display around the house, but you know, it's a work in progress. I still have some furniture that's coming this week that I need to put together. I always put things together in this house. My wife ordered a table, dining table, one of those kind of like the ones that can transform into different sizes of old things. She loves that kind of thing, so she ordered one. She's excited. I arrived and I had to put it together. I had some Billy bookcases that I need to put down there for our library, for our books and stuff. And you know, we collect a lot of books, so we have a lot of books over the years. So I gotta put those together. I know they're arriving tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that. It comes with the Augsburg, with the you know, the glasses and everything. So we'll see. So yeah, busy working on the yard, really getting stuff done there. My grass is kind of like a little patchy right now, and weeds, so I'm working on it. So it's a lot of work. Having a new home is always a lot of work. A lot of things need to get done, but we are blessed, and I'm grateful for what God has given us and continues to do every single day. But yeah, the collectibles market, it's definitely flooded. Companies continue to produce. There's a lot of fears, of course, for tariffs, but companies are doing the work, which is, you know, you got to give them credit. Sometimes in life you cannot just simply just throw yourself on the ground and floor and cry, and moan about it. You just have to keep moving, and the companies are moving. Companies continue to do so, and it's impressive to see these companies doing it. So the hope is that things improve. Well, of course, like Make the 4th is coming. So there's gonna be a lot of companies having a lot of Star Wars collectibles. We're gonna see a lot of it, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna cover them as much as we can. I'm gonna try to cover as much as I can. With the things that we need to do, and definitely little by little we're gonna start just going back into reviewing more stuff. I'm definitely trying to improve some of my equipment to start doing reviews. I want to start doing reviews. I've been working with some stuff for many years, some equipment, the same the lights that I use for my reviews. I'm done with that. I feel that I need to improve on that, so I'm really right now in that rabbit hole of trying to find the stuff that is gonna make my videos more professional looking, but also that doesn't break the bank. I'm not necessarily a fan of spending too much money on things. I want to utilize them right. I want to use my money wisely, so I'm working on that and improving changing some equipment, transforming some equipment, so I can come back strong with reviews. I want to do that. I want to come back with reviewing statues, action figures. I want to come back to reviewing books. I sent something that I think a lot of people want for this channel to do. And now that we're still on this house, working on that, working on the podcast, maybe invest more time on my gaming channel too. It's a lot of things. Of course, life always throws a monkey wrench, and there's always a lot of things to do with the family, work. We're not always up to speed with that. I'm not a spring chicken, and definitely sometimes I feel like I need to rest and just need to slow down in life and just enjoy life, start trying to always thinking what I'm gonna do next. So that's where we're at. But I want to say thank you because you have been always supportive to the channel. And I did not cover, there were a couple companies that they released some stuff, and I see Spec Fiction has now, for some reason, they're opening the door to release a lot of more unlicensed products. I did talk about some unlicensed stuff last week, but I decided, after thinking thoroughly about it for a little bit, I decided not to really expose much of that. If you're interested, definitely go there and look at this stuff. Spec Fiction particularly sells a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of licensed stuff. There's a lot of groups on Facebook that have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people who actually sell stuff on in Facebook. There's different stores that they sell licensed products, particularly on the anime side. But I tried not to cover them because, to avoid any legal problems, particularly when I produce content and videos. I've been working so hard building this channel for the past 12 years. It's 12 years, actually. Yeah, 12 years. I don't want to lose it just because, all of a sudden Marvel deems that I'm just actually promoting stuff, and they want me to desist and send me some type of legal letter. So all these things happen, and I seen it happening. So I say, you know what, I mentioned it on the passing. Maybe sometimes you can mention it, but you're more than welcome to go to this place and look at it. But here we've been always promoting more of the official stuff, because that's what companies pay to have those products. One thing is to do the garage kit stuff on your own, and another one is just to to sell stuff like flagrantly, like being open completely and carelessly, and I don't want to be part of the whole thing. So that's the reason why I try not to promote that kind of stuff here. I don't, and I go for the companies because they're the ones paying their dues. They're the ones actually trying to do the right thing the right way, and that's in the end what really matters, and we should support companies like that. That's why I talk about the whole thing about the tariffs as well, because companies are hit. Companies are playing by the right way. They playing by the rules are the ones being dinged by that. And I believe that the tariffs, all they do is actually push a lot of these companies and push a lot of people into the fringes and to do more stuff in the, without any license. They don't have to pay it because, they want to sell the product. So they push into the fringes. They actually pushing for contraband, pushing for unlicensed products. All these rules is all they do. So we got to be careful, because I do remember when there was a time with companies like Boeing couldn't sell, and they only have American license, they have international license. There were a lot of companies in Asia that were producing a lot of garage kit stuff. Stuff that you can go, you remember back, eBay was the place to go and find a lot of these garage kits from companies like Halima. They in the end, Halima became what it is now, a Legendary V Studios. But there was the connection with Halima. There was a lot of things that you were able to see back in the day, and and that was the dark side, you know, that was the dark part of the collectible world, but now it seems that it's more open. You don't see a lot of it. But still, you know, you gotta play by the rules, and this channel is always try to play by the rules. I do it not only to protect you, but also not only to protect myself. You know, first and foremost, protect myself and my investment and my time, my years in this channel, but also to protect you as a collector. Sometimes it's better to stay away from things that can be harmful. If you're comfortable, you already know what you're doing, by all means, go ahead and do it. But other than that, it's better sometimes just to stay on this side. It's better to stay on this side when things are more clear and cut. So it is what it is. My friends, I want to say thank you. Have a good night. Thank you for being with me. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens with May the 4th. Stay tuned for this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to have some videos. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff this week. But soon, I think May is... Now we are almost in May. Yeah, we're in May. That's when we're going to see more stuff in this channel. So stay tuned for all of that. My friends, God bless. Take care. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.